guys, it's me, Research Puff, here to tell you the next step of learning, bibliography. Now, if you've heard this giant word, bibliography, and you feel like this, or this, or even this, don't freak out, it's not so bad. What even is a bibliography? Remember how we did all those sources a few weeks ago? And we found great information, and I said to make sure to write down your URL if you did a website, or information about a book if you did a book. Today is the day we use that information. When you're going to write, well, you've already written your rough draft of your research paper, but when you do that, you need to tell people who read your research paper where you found your information. And so at the end of your paper, you're going to make a list, a list of those sources of the places that you got your information, and you're just going to put it at the end of your paper so people know how to find that information for themselves if they want to see that. And just because we love Latin roots, I'll also tell you that the meaning of the word bibliography is hidden right inside its name. Biblio means books, and graph we know means to write, and then graphy means list, right? So put it together and we have a list of the books used. Now this was invented way before the internet, so the main way that people found information back then were physical books. But now with the internet, books are put on the internet all the time in the form of websites. All right, so now we have kind of a vague idea of what this thing is. I'm going to show you more detail, and then we're going to go step by step about how to actually do it. All right, before you get going, well, actually, I'll show you. You may want to do this alongside the video, or you might want to watch the whole video and then come back and try to do it yourself, because you are going to be doing it tomorrow, actually. So get a feel for it, and you might want to rewatch the video when you come back to it tomorrow. So I thankfully have my notes in digital form. If you don't have your source sheets anymore, or they're not, you didn't write down the URL or the information, that is a problem. So you're going to have to, unfortunately, do that part over again, because you really do need that information before you can move forward on the bibliography. So once you have your source sheets in front of you, one way, shape, or form, then you can go to, that's scary, don't look at that yet. Go to your Google search engine, and I want you to type in citation generator. And I want you to spell it right, just like me. And enter. What's a citation? You don't have to worry about that too much yet, but when you're older in papers, there's a way to quote directly from a website or book, and that's called a citation. And then generator is something that automatically makes it for you. So here in 4th grade, we're going to have the internet automatically do our bibliography for us, and then when you're a little bit older, you'll start to be more independent with it. So I really love this one that's called citationmachine.net. That's the one I want you to click on. Click. And then if you did the hard work of writing down the information about your source beforehand, this should actually be super easy. You'll come back, if you have it digitally, which you probably don't, but I do, then you will copy paste. I'm going to right click, copy. You can also come up to edit, copy. Now I'm doing this on Google Docs, but y'all might have that on Microsoft Word or iPages. So generally edit will always have a copy option. And then I'm going to come back over to my citationmachine.net. And because this source was a website, I'm going to flip to that tab and click on it. So it defaults to a book. So if you did your source as a book, that's fine. Website. And then these little things up here matter too. I don't want to get too much into it, but just know that there's different ways you can write a bibliography. And we're going to be doing the way that's called ELA. It stands for Modern Language Association. It's just like people who decide grammar, they decide bibliographies, and that's what they want. All right, so down here, website, MLA, down here is where I'm going to right click and hit paste to put that website URL, and then search websites. Okay, And now I see something that looks right. Puffin beaks are fluorescent, and they're not the only ones. Select. That looks like what I was hoping for. Good job. All right, now it's going to say we found a bunch of data, but we couldn't find the publisher sponsor, and that's fine. Final step. Checking it. It looks great. Create citation. All right, now we have a bunch. I already practiced with it, so I'll delete that one. Actually, I'll keep that as an example. Yours might come up with a yellow background or a white background. I want you to click copy. So this part right here, this is the actual bibliography, or the part that we're going to use for the bibliography. So it all looks like a lot of craziness. I'm going to break it down for you in just a second, but this website's got crazy clutter, so we're going to move away from it. The thing I want you to do is click copy. Okay, and now that's stored information in your computer. Do it one more time just to be sure. And then just open up whatever you used to type or are going to use to type your paper. I like Google Docs, so that's where I'm at. But it could be, again, Microsoft Word or iPages or whatever you feel that you know the best to type on. And then I'm going to come here, and I'm going to make sure that I'm aligned left and paste, edit, paste. So now that information's there. We are almost done. It's really not that scary, is it? But now we're kind of at the spot where I can show you, like, what is this? And let's break it down. When I think of a bibliography, think of it like an address for how to find the information that you found. So instead of saying like 525 Information Lane, Atlanta, whoa, spell Atlanta right. Atlanta, Georgia, 55555, right? Instead of saying an address like this for your information, we have all this information right here, and that's everything that a person would need to find the exact article that you had used, and it's really helpful. You're pretty much always going to start with the author's last name, and for some reason, we always have the last name first and then the first name, and it's going to be alphabetical. Now, you'll have 3 different sources, right? So you'll have to alphabetize it, but don't worry about that step quite yet. Then you're going to have the title of the website page. So this one was Puffin beaks are fluorescent, and they're not the only ones. And then since this is a website, it's going to list the name of the website, the people who published the website, and the date it was on there. That's important for websites because sometimes people update what they wrote on there. And so if this was an out-of-date version or if they changed it since I read it, it's good to know what date I accessed it. And then, of course, the URL. All right, now, I won't lie to you. This feeling was not entirely wrong because that's kind of overwhelming, especially as a 4th grader. If you feel a little bit overwhelmed, that's totally normal. I have had way too many years of doing this. Way too many years until the point where it doesn't even scare me anymore. So if you feel that fear, you are right on track, kid. Good job. Buckle in. It's about to get a tiny bit worse. Don't look away. All right. This is where things get a little bit specific. When you write a bibliography, people want it to look exactly the way they want it. They want 1 inch of space on the top, 1 inch of space on the left, on the right. They want all these different things. The main thing I'm going to show you in 4th grade is that you see how these all line up all the way to the left? Once I have more than one of these on there, I'm just going to copy paste this one, but you'll have more entries. Remember, you have 3 sources, so you're actually going to have 3 of these, and we'll practice another one in a sec. But let's say I have these all stacked together. Now that blue URL makes it kind of easy to see, but otherwise it's kind of hard to track how many sources I have, right? So what they end up doing, and they say, have that first line, I'm going to delete that, that's already making me feel crazy. Have that first line be all the way flush to the left. But then on that second line, I'd like you to indent. Remember that thing we do at the beginning of new paragraphs? The 5 spaces? That's the indent. So I'm going to hit the tab on my keyboard. Oop, not there. There? No, don't do that. Okay. You might have this problem too. I'm going to come up here. See this little blue arrow? Almost all Word editors, so Microsoft Word, Google Docs, everything will have this. And this allows you to do crazy, fun formatting craziness. So what I want to do is I want to come right here to that little gray dash, and I'm going to pull it over there. And then see how there's actually two of them? There's like a rectangle and then a triangle. I want you to take that top rectangle and slide it back until it gets to that darker gray. Whee! And that's what we want it to look like. So sometimes it'll let you tab and sometimes it won't. Now, can you see how if I had multiple entries and they all had that nice little tab trick, see how easy it is to see how many I have? I have 1, 2, 3. So really it's just about making the visuals nice and clean. All right, let's practice with one more. So I'm going to come up with one more and then I'll show you the last little thing you'll need to do. Okay, so my second one was this website. I'm just going to copy, come back to my citation generator, create another citation. It's also a website, so I'm going to paste, search websites, paste. Try that one more time. Oh, there it is, Puffin Facts. Sorry, I got distracted. Again, this website's very busy. I'm sorry about that. Okay, and I agree. Final step. Create citation. There's just a lot of pages on this thing. All right, and here we have, now remember, I just want to show you what would happen. If I just highlight this one and copy paste, watch what it's going to look like. You're going to freak out. Ba-da-da! Oh no, it's got that yellow background. If that happens, it's not the end of the world. You can highlight it in here and then just like take that away. But if you have a different editor than Google Docs and don't really know what that's about, remember instead of just highlighting it, I want you to come here and click copy. And then that way it does not have the highlighted background. Yay! Okay, I'm going to do that same trick where I indent the second line. So the second line needs to come back. I remove the blue triangle all the way to the first little check mark, and then I move the blue rectangle back to the left. All right, now you're ready for the final step. I promise this is the final step. Oops, sorry. I want you to highlight everything on the, oops, that does not need to have a space between it. If you haven't already, add the word bibliography at the top. That's kind of what you do. Highlight everything. And then this is what it looks like on Google Docs. I'll be honest, you might need to get a parent for this step if you're using like Word or iPages. But generally you'll have some sort of editing bar at the top of your platform where you can change like the font to be crazy. That's not crazy enough. To be crazy or crazy big or crazy small, right? I want you to make the font the boring font of all time, Times New Roman. It's just the thing we do. It's just like the rule, kind of like there are grammar rules, you make it Times New Roman. And the font size, I'd like it to be 12, please. That's just one of the rules. It's not my rule. It's like the world's rule. And then I'd like you to come over here wherever it says line spacing on yours. Right now, the standard is this 1.15. And I want you to switch it instead to double. And that just kind of opens it up and that makes it look beautiful, right? Now, I don't have to save on my Google Docs, but if you have one that you have to save, go ahead and do File Save for me. And that's all you have to do. All right, so that was a lot of information. I wanted to give it to you on a Tuesday so that you could just watch this long video and, you know, react emotionally before you had to actually do it on Wednesday. But rewatch it on Wednesday. And then if you have any questions for me, put them in the comments. All right. Thank you so much, Research Puffins, and I hope you guys have a great time writing those bibliographies. Bye! Wait! I forgot something super important. I am so sorry, Alphabet. You, bibliography, need to be alphabetized, and that means that I look at this T and this P, really the first letter of whatever each different bibliography entry is, and it has to be alphabetical. And we all know that P comes before T in the alphabet. So I'm going to highlight this, copy, and paste it above. Phew, close call. Just, to show you, this with a Z would be accurate so that it reads from the top of the alphabet to the bottom of the alphabet. Phew. That's all, folks. Have a great day. Bye.